today on a different frequency and vibration. I'm just so blessed and grateful that this month I've declared it my birthday month. And I don't know about all of you, but
Happy
I'm
birthday.
Harrison, I'm gonna have cake every day.
Me too. I'm going to have cake in celebration of your birthday.
I love it, love it, love it, love it. Well, we have an amazing session for all of you here. We want to thank everybody, all the listeners, everybody in the Facebook group, LinkedIn connections, and our email group that uh, you've been connecting with us. You've been reaching out. So today we have something very special, very amazing lesson. So get your favorite pen, get a nice piece of paper, blank, nice paper, and write on a few things that resonate with you. I don't know what you're going through. The world is going through some terrible crisis right now, but it doesn't matter about the world. I'm talking about you. Whatever is resonating with you, I'd like you to write it down because Harrison here has got an amazing lesson on identity and the foundation of success. What's it going to take to get to that $1 million level? What's it going to take on yourself on the inside to move you and change you? So I'm really excited. I'm encouraged. I don't know all the details right now because I've studied the identity course with Harrison, but it's been almost 2 years. And that's what we came up with to share with you. And at the end, we are going to invite you to a 3-day event that we're launching in the 20th of November. But without further ado, Harrison, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. You're looking sharp, amazing. How you doing?
Well, I am doing galactically inspired and happy and wonderful and resplendent and opulent. Those are some of my favorite words, and I definitely want to pass them on because as you repeat those words to yourself, you become that state of mind. And part of what we're going to be talking about today is that state of mind. How do you get to $1 million? You have to be in the state of belief. You have to be in the state of enthusiasm. You have to be in the state of dynamic, productivity. So all good things happen when you are in a state of mind. Now understand that we are immortal beings. So we are not our hands. We are not our bodies. We're not even our thoughts. Basically, we are just immortal beings that exist in a state, and what we do is we move from state to state, which we oftentimes can create different bodies from. So you had a different body when you were an infant, you had a different body when you were a toddler, you had a different body when you were a teenager, and a different body when you were again a young person, and a mature person, and you'll have a different body. But each body has a state of mind. And that
Mhm.
state of mind is about your identity. What you identify with and who you identify with determines exactly what your belief is for you to be able to create abundance of any sort, including $1 million. So, what you believe is really the most important part of getting to that $1 million space. So, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that we all have an identity, and by definition, our identity is a condition of being ourselves, regardless, or itself, and not anything else. So once we choose an identity, the I am, and this is the most important two words in the universe, I am. When you understand the I am, you begin to become something from moment to moment because the beingness of your essence is immortal. The beingness of your essence is in the eternity. It is with and part of God. But as you choose the I am, you begin to attract what it is that you identify with, and your identity is the direct connection you have with Source. We choose to be one thing, and we also choose not to be anything else. So your identity can change instantly, and basically, most of us form habits around our identity, which is why we think there's a continuation. And so we believe our identity to be permanent. But, it's all right, it's how we see ourselves in relation to the world. That is what identity is. And it is the foundation of success because how you see yourself determines your behavior, it determines your thoughts, it determines your actions, and it determines your receptivity for things.
Mhm.
So, in actuality, our identity is our world in relation to ourself, not us in relation to the world, because the world is a projection of who we are to begin with. So, but it's the identity of the world in relation to us. So once we choose an identity, the identity principle is the I am, which demonstrates that being comes first, the first cause of everything. The world we encounter, our life, our body, our relationships, our experiences really is a direct result of our being, uh,
Mm.
of our I am. And so when we understand that situation, you know, do we know what our I am is? Who are we? The most important question on the planet. We have two really super important questions on the planet. Who am I? And what am I feeling right now? So we have to seek the question. You know, we have to understand that we are not. The identity is the first principle because it provides us with the question that can begin the conscious journey back to spirit, which leads us to everything that brings us joy and abundance. So let's take a moment and close our eyes and consider, who am I? And
Mm.
don't censor your answer or worry if it's right or wrong or whatever the case may be. But the answer isn't nearly as important as the question. The question is, who am I? So once we write that down on a sheet of paper, we begin asking the right questions, and that sets us on a path to what's deeper, what's more important, what's incredible to
Mm.
ourselves. And if you want to be successful, you have to identify with what that success happens to be. You want to make $1 million, you have to identify internally with being a millionaire. It has to be your state of being, your state of mind. And being is our connection to God. Being always is, has been, always will be.
Mm.
Being is eternal, and so are we. Our
Okay.
beingness is that eternalness.
I
Okay.
want to I want to emphasize something, Harrison, for everybody that's listening on the who am I and this identity, because right away, listeners and clients, as we coach them along, when they ask that question, now remember, you're asking, who are you asking this question? Are they asking this question to themselves or to spirit or to God? Because people have a perception of what others think of them. So it's important to separate between what others think of you and what you think of you. So when maybe you can speak a bit more deeper when they ask this question, who am I? Who are they listening to? Are they listening to what comes out of them, or are they deflecting what everybody else has said about them in the past? Because some people are traumatized like that.
Yeah, so we have to understand, and I want you guys to get this. This is the most important thing that you can do. Identity is the foundation. The I am is the foundation. Who am I is the foundation. We identify in order to create. Let me say this again. We
Mm.
identify in order to create. Do you get this? You have to get this to become whatever you want to become, because it's not what you get, it's not what you want in this world, it's what you are. This is the most important thing you can do. And we are all things anyway. All things that exist are within us. We are all things. And identity is the most simple form of choice. Since we're all things, um, we experience the reality of what we identify with. That is how we experience things. So, how do we decide to be something? Decide to be wealth, decide to be love, decide to be health, decide to be joy. Be the state. To the extent that you identify with that state, you experience that reality. So when you say, I am a doctor, internally, you begin to set the forces in motion that create the experience of being a doctor. The I am is what creates the experience, it creates the process of you becoming. So when you say I am a doctor, you'll start to have doctoral type thoughts. What's the diagnosis? What am I looking at? Is this what can I do about this? What's it like to do whatever it is that a doctor does in their specific um, what do we call that, specialty or whatever the case
Mm.
is. We are all things. So how do we become the state that we want to become? This is really important. It is the foundation of all of your success. So being is the first cause, right? And that means our thoughts are sponsored by uh, by being, and there is no other way around. There's no other way around. We can't become something by thinking about it all day long. We think a thing all day long because it's what we are and who we are. That's how it works. So this is what we have to focus on in order to attract. The higher truth is that we focus on what we are, and that's why we want something so bad and still sometimes not get it. We have to focus on what we are. So let's break this down for a second, because we're going to do this very quickly and we're not going to stay on long because this is very potent. And I want you to just absorb this. Being is a state of I am. It's an alignment of all things. It is the alignment of everything. And when you become a state, you align your conscious, your subconscious, and your superconscious together. So these three entities, your subconscious, your conscious, and your superconscious, make independent choices on how you experience life. So your conscious is the direction or the desire or your focus in your choice. Your consciousness only has two purposes. It is to focus on and choice. Every other use of the conscious mind is misuse. You know, the only other thing, so our conscious mind is for focus and choice. So that focus and choice then sends a signal to our subconscious, which is the creator of all our behaviors. And it's our self-image. And that self-image is, what we identify with, what we intend, what we experience ourselves as. There's a difference between what the world experiences uh, as us and what we experience as us. But what we experience as us is the most important thing that takes us to where we want to go. So, being is the first cause. Then what does that happen? Being sponsors thinking. So when you say, I am a doctor, you have doctoral thoughts. And when that sponsors that, you know, the next portion is when you have those thoughts, that translates into speaking. Speaking is the bridge into physical reality. And when we get into the bridge into physical reality, so we have the being, I am, the thoughts, and then we have the speaking. So it goes to speaking, and from there we have the action. And once we're speaking about something long enough, we are compelled to take action about it. And taking action about it is preparation to receive what we created. So I was in a conference with about 70 or 80 other people at one point, and some and the question for somebody in the audience was, what do you really want? And one person said, I want to be connected to Bruce Springsteen. Understand that we speak ourselves into reality. We have the thoughts, we have the I am, we have the thoughts, we have the speaking, and then we have the action. So when we speak our existence, we speak our existence into a particular reality. And she said, I want to be with Bruce Springsteen. And guess what? Because we had the I am, and I am, with Bruce Springsteen, she said, okay, somebody in the audience raised their hand and says, I know Bruce Springsteen's secretary. I can get you a connection.
That's so good.
So this is how all that works. So therefore, and I want you to understand, thoughts and action do not create. They're not creative by nature. They are the preparation to create the experience. So you have to go through the whole process, thoughts and action. Yeah, and this is the road, however, to reaction. Just to start to start with being means that we release the need for actions or thought. Most of us try to create through action. Most of us try to create by doing something, by effort, by strength. How do we do this? We go back to our audience. What is my I am? So if you want to create, you got to go, what is my I am? And what is my I am on a particular topic? So how do you know what the I am is? Basically, you simply make a choice. How do you know when you're in love? Same question.
Mhm.
How do you know when you're in love? You just know. There's nobody who can tell you you're in love. So you just know who you are. So you choose who you are. So being is the same way. You either are or you aren't. And the whole thing is to not doubt your state of being. You can choose
Uh,
something, but if you doubt it, if you have judgment of yourself or whatever, you just have, you can't get to where you want to go. So you just have to observe, and you have to discover that, all doubt and fear and sense of failure centers around the single belief, which is, I am not worthy. Okay.
mm,
When you are not, when you understand that, yeah, your lack of whatever it is that you're trying to manifest is, I am not worthy. The basic thing is, that unworthiness is universal. It's part of the human condition, but it's not part of the spiritual condition. And when you step into your spiritual condition, your unworthiness is a byproduct of your separation from humanity and God. So, in our modern era, we define sin as something that's separated from God. So when we understand that situation, so the root of sin is the separation from God, the desire not to be with God for any situation. So in order to manifest, we understand that duality is required for the law of magnetism to operate. And so that's the way that we basically do things. So not to blame yourself for any sense of unworthiness, because most of the world has guilt around what they can't get, and that guilt is nothing but a call for punishment. I mean, we're in a situation whereby somebody in my extended family just died, and all the people around that person were feeling guilty. But there is no wrong. There's only being. There's only this or that. So there's simply, it doesn't serve our evolution to feel guilt. It doesn't serve our evolution to go through what is wrong with us. It's unless it's for the purpose of totally correcting that. But most of us harp on what's wrong with us. So the I am worthy, on the other hand, is the jump to the identity of belief.
mm.
And we can release any negative emotions by simply becoming I am worthy, and then stating your I am over and over again. So sometimes it helps to go through the process, um, of repetition continuously, and sometimes it helps more to just be emotionalizing whatever it is that you feel, or whatever it is you want to feel around your thing. Nobody can convince anybody of anything without enthusiasm. So for you to have something like creating $1 million, you have to be enthusiastic about it. That's why I say I am amazing, phenomenal, outstanding, incredible, awesome, turned on, tuned up.
That's awesome because we want you to feel it, right? When you when you announce the I am worthy, I am the millionaire, I am the multi-million-dollar earner, you have to feel it. You have to be it. Like it cannot just be you're doubting yourself. You gotta learn to stop yourself from the doubt, and you gotta be it. And we know it's hard. We know you're not letting yourself go there. So there are ways for you to get close to this $1 million. There are ways for you to get into that feeling of what's it like to be rich by going places where the rich hang out, going to places where there is rich stuff that you think is rich, whatever. It could be success, it could be stage, it could be an empire building that you want to own, whatever is that richness that you're seeking. Start putting yourself in that position to stop the doubt. You got to do this a few times. It doesn't happen from one time. It could be quickly if you drop all the guards, but you have to put yourself in this position, in the community, in the group, so that you start feeling and being that worthy.
All shifts are a shift in identity. So every shift that you make is a shift in identity, and to create millions, or a better personality, or greater health, or greater abundance, or greater joy, you have to keep shifting upwards. And that means you have to have a new kind of I am. You have to say, I am better, or I am this, or I am that, whatever.
Mm,
You have to identify with a particular state of being. And every state of being has a different state, has a different shift. So every shift that you make puts you into a different state. So when you I am something long enough in repetition, it must come true. That is the law of the universe. If you can see something internally and you can feel it internally, then you can become it. Then it happens. All the things of that nature come to you. So when you say, I am a doctor, if you say that repeatedly enough and you think it and you speak it, then you start taking actions toward it, you will start to experience that situation. You've already created the bridge that receives that. And it's a shift. It's a shift from what you were before. It's a shift from being a teenager or a young adult or being in college or whatever the case may be. So every shift you make is a progression toward a worthy goal.
Mm.
So, or an unworthy goal, whatever that happens to be for you. So make sure that you understand the I am is what creates your reality. There is no other substitute to that, and there's no exceptions to that.
Mm.
So when you put your I am, it's the experience that you identify with that creates your life levels and all that. So the good thing is that anybody can say any kind of I am and they'll get it. If they repeat it, they'll certainly feel an immediate um, experience if they say I am happy and they say I am depressed. When you say I am depressed, your body will actually feel sluggish. When you say I am happy, your body will feel buoyant and light. So if you just do that and close your eyes for a couple seconds, you'll see the difference. You'll notice that difference inside of you. So you can say I am a millionaire and you'll notice that difference. And why are you a millionaire? Because I identify with the people that are millionaires. I identify with having lots of money. I identify with going places that are luxurious. I identify with being able to make choices with my money that help my friends and my family and other things like that. So as you identify with things, you become those things. So you become that state of mind, and that state of mind is the law of attraction that brings you what you want.
So good. So good. So just for everybody that's listening, so you can shift on the inside, and you have to shift to this identity to start getting into the action, into the vibration for the good that you want with ease. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Harrison, that's how people shift to that $10 million, $100 million, and they do it with ease. They're normal people like you and I, but they shift internally, they get into that feeling, and then they're just as easy as they were making 500,000, now they're making a million or two or 10. So you
Right.
shift with ease, because it's not about working hard, it's about the shift. And that's where a lot of people don't shift, that a lot of people are struggling, and they stay there for a long, 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 long time.
Yeah, that's because they think their identity is permanent. It's not
Mm.
permanent. It can change in an instant. And when you're on the ladder of ascension to growing, 500,000, a million, 2 million, 10 million, whatever, you become a different person each state, each different level that you move up. And what you're actually doing is that you are not holding on to what was the permanent state that you thought or the state of mind before, and you are releasing that so that your body can float into a higher space, your mind can float into a higher space. So yeah, and the shift is all important, because if you can't shift your mind, you're stuck. You are always stuck in one space or one kind of identity and one kind of thing. People who are angry, frustrated, and low earners and difficult or disagreeable by nature, they see themselves that way. That's because that's what they're experiencing, because that's the way they see themselves. And if they believe that's who they are, that is their I am this person, I don't want to change, or whatever the case may be, they don't get any better. But when they start to say, okay, well, maybe I'm something else, maybe I can be something else, and that being something else is what is that something else that you want to become or be. And it's not about how much money you make, it's who you become in the process, because who you become is what attracts the money. It's not the strategy to attract the money, it's who you become. So you want to be more valuable in the marketplace? Hey, simple answer to that is become a more valuable person. as you be, as you become a more as you become a more valuable person, more money comes to you. And it isn't about what you're putting into the marketplace. It isn't about another strategy. It's about you being more articulate. It's about you being more connected. It's about you, having more information that helps other people. So the I am is what is your connection to all things. And it is the same words that God put into the physical plane when he told Moses, I am that I am. I am that I am. Okay.
So good.
It means I am all things. I am.
Hmm.
Yeah. So all,
So I'll say one more thing, and I don't know how much more time you need, but basically we work with VPs and CEOs and executives and business owners to help them shift, because to shift you first, and then we help you shift the whole company, the team together. But it starts with the leader. It starts with who is actually in charge, because we need to have this big vision. We need to have this big belief in where you want to go with you and your team. So often, people come to us and they want to work with us, but they like, oh, how about the team? Well, first we have to help you first. And sometimes we take it all right away, but the key is getting everybody on the same vision, same level. Now, not everybody moves at the same time, but the leader of the pack, that is very, very important for you to believe in this, to actually shift the company to that $10 million, $100 million, and start seeing this vision um, of wealth and growth. So maybe we can talk a little bit about that, as to how the leader of a company, Harrison, has to kind of champion this idea, and then how we help them harness the team so that they carry the load, or work with us on it.
yeah, being is the right question. Being, who am I? Begin with the right question. Who am I? Once you begin with that question, that vision will come up, and you will identify with something. And as you identify with something, and you become convinced that that's who you are, that is the belief. When you come into the convinced that you are that person, when you begin to believe it, you become a leader, because that leader resonates at that level, and that level then begins to attract the things around that level. So a leader has to be somebody who is, full of confidence. A leader has to be somebody who is persuasive. A leader has to be somebody that has a vision of something greater than himself, and that he can enroll other people in. A leader has to be something that has the identity of, that self-belief, and transfers that identity to other people. Mahatma Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, basically, was able to shift the belief process of 200 million people to create India's independence from England without any, with nonviolence. It had never really been done that way before. And it was simply because he believed that he could do that. The Beatles became the greatest band in the world because they had the belief that they were the greatest band in the world. They said, we are the greatest band in the world. You know, as you begin to identify yourself as something, sooner or later, with enough repetition and enough emotion, you begin to experience that, because your subconscious gives you all the information, all the people, all the experiences that you need to create your belief. Okay, your I am, your state of being. And again, we're immortal beings. We are not states of belief, but we move from one state of belief to another in order to experience life, and especially life to its fullest. So to become a leader, you simply have to say, I am a leader. And you have to then begin to believe it. You have to say, okay, I have a vision. I am a visionary, and I have a vision of this company going to $100 million. I have a vision of creating franchises around the world. I have a vision of taking a coffee shop on every corner of the world, in every metropolitan area that exists. I have a vision to, create everything that exists online. I have a vision to, move electronics into every household and in every hand. I have a vision to create a new era of cars with sustainable energy. That is the I am. I am that person. I am that leader. Okay.
Mhm.
As you have your visions, as you create your I ams through courage, through competence, through self association, through clarity and focus, all that exists become yours to command. And you know, the other day, Elon Musk's Tesla dropped like $11 a share. Out of some, it went below 200 for the first time. All he did was say, "Hey, I'm better than that. I'm not going to leave my stuff at that." And today it went up $7, and then the day before it went up like $4. So he went past the $11 mark simply because I would, he doesn't bet against himself. He has no doubt. He says, "I am this. I am a world visionary that changes humanity, that can help humanity become a bigger experience." Okay. So, I want you guys to do the same thing. I want you guys to have a vision of your future, and I am that vision. I am that vision. And as
So
you I am it, yeah, you become it. And as you become it, it affects everybody and everything around you, because your world is nothing but a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So let
so
your let your immortality, become the basis of your fun experience. So Elon Musk, hey, he does what he does because it's fun for him. He may be whatever. Steve Jobs, he did what he did because it was fun for him. Leonardo da Vinci, they did what they did. He did because painting was fun for him. Michelangelo, he did what he did because painting was fun. Einstein, he did what he did because mathematics was fun for him. And he created through that I am, through that identification process of who I will be, who I am, who I'm becoming, and who I will, evolve into.
I
So
love it. So
that's
good. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's my statement for
it's so
today.
beautiful. And there's so more for everybody that's listening live or going to listen to the recording. And if you want more, I'm personally going through the 40 prompts or the 100 prompts that we have from you, Harrison. And I gotta tell you, it just opens up your mind. Like, if you want to experience such a thing with ease, just, the website is right there, wealthymofos.com. Reach out and would love to help you explore this further so that you can grow this mindset, grow this belief in yourself with your teams and companies with ease. There's no need to stay stuck. There's no need to be miserable. There's no need to feel the tension and the pressure. There is an easier way. And if I can do it, you can do it. And last, what I'd say, in about 2 weeks, if you want to spend some more time with us, we'd love to have that as well. The 20th, 21st, 22nd, come and spend an hour a day with us. Won't cost you a thing, but some time and attention, because this material can really change the future for your company, the future of your life, the future of your well-being. We'll share with you some things that we've learned. I've been studying this for the last 5 6 years, almost every day, and 25 years in business. Hans has been doing it for like 40 years. So would love to see more of you around.
Yeah. So also, when Kamal talks about the prompts, I have a book that I wrote called "I Am Wealth," and I have a book that I wrote called "Spiritual Wealth," and basically it deals with the I Am principles. And if you are interested in that book, basically just DM us here at Ignite Your Power or Wealthy Mofos, and I'll give you a copy of that, digital copy of that book, basically. And it is about 40 prompts that open up your identity to a new shift. So when you have these 40 prompts, basically you will experience things differently, because the questions you ask yourself in your identity is what moves your energy in one form or another into something that creates what you want to have, what you want to experience in the world. And I want you to understand that you're not that if you're in poverty, that's not an accident. If you're in wealth, that's not an accident. It's what you have identified with. And if you identify with poverty and you allow yourself into that state of mind, you will stay in poverty until you make that shift. If you identify with wealth and you stay in that state of mind, you will make that shift and start to attract that into your life. Success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract. Okay. So when you get into the state of mind that I am success, or I am successful, or I am wealth, I am joy, I am abundance. Say this with me. I am wealth, I am joy, I
I'm
am abundant.
joy. I'm abundant.
I am health, I am wonderful, I am sensational.
I am
You get
wealth.
your
I'm sensation.
personality. you get your personality in place. You know, you stay at a high vibration, and that vibration creates attraction. The law of attraction is what is like unto itself is attracted unto itself. So like attracts like. So you can't go on a journey to some place like becoming a millionaire and have a negative experience, have a negative trip to get there. You can't get there from there. You have to be in the positive space. You have to be in the identity space to get to where you want to go. That's all I'm going to say for today. I hope you guys have
Woo!
a sensational and wonderful, terrific, outstanding, incredible, awesome day. And, you know, do what comes naturally and identify with the bigger you rather than the littler you. Okay. Pavarotti was on stage one day, or he was getting on stage, and he was going to begin to sing an opera in front of about, I don't know, 1.5 million or 12 million people or something on television. And he was so nervous, he was sweating, and he was beginning to think he's going to fail. He's not going to hit the high notes, and things are going to be different. And then he said to himself, that's the little me talking. The big me is I can do anything. I am the best opera singer in the world. And then he went out and he nailed it. As he always does.
So
Okay.
good. I love it. Love these stories. And thank you so much, my good friend and mentor and business partner Harrison. This has been amazing, and that's why I am around Harrison, around this material, because that's the growth that I want. That's what we're seeking, and that's what you're probably seeking, and you're holding yourself back. So if you like what you heard, and if you want to hang around us, we look forward to meeting you. DM us, and we gotta jump. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. And again, celebrate with me all month. It's my birthday month. It's not the one day, cake every day. And we're gonna have a whole lot of November birthday November.
Should we play them Werewolves of London?
No, I think we'll leave it like that. Just when you hang out with us, we'll play a different kind of music to raise the vibration. Otherwise, it's been a blessing and a privilege. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Harrison. See you in a minute on Zoom, and we'll talk.
Okay. See you later. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.